Good evening, one and all. Welcome, one and all, and to the Faculty Development Program organized by Jadid Islam College of Arts and Science on the topic Effective Teaching in the Digital Age, Open Source Based Education, and Artificial Intelligence. We are at the third day of the FTP program, which has been scheduled for 8 days. Today, we have Dr. Suresh Nambudiri with us to ignite us upon the topic Artificial Intelligence for Pedagogical Excellence. Sir will be conducting two sessions for us today and tomorrow. Today is the first session on the topic Artificial Intelligence for Pedagogical Excellence. Dr. Suresh Nambudiri is a specialist in applied research, product development, and artificial intelligence with over 40 years of experience in industry, technical and higher education and training. He is actually one of the first to specialize in Bloom's taxonomy and outcome based education in India and to develop ready to use quality based educational solutions that help students attain graduate attributes and program objectives. Being a resource person or being in the field of training or giving faculty development programs for so many colleges and many other educational institutions, especially based on the topic artificial intelligence and pedagogical excellence. Here we have a very apt person to give us ample enough knowledge regarding artificial intelligence and how the same could be used in the educational scenario of the current era. On behalf of myself and Jerit Islam College of Arts and Science, we welcome you a very warm welcome, sir. Thank you for being with us. I would also like to welcome all the participants to the program. May this be a very eventful evening and session for all of you. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Suresh, sir, you may begin, sir. Suresh, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, you may begin the session, sir.
Should we wait because then I am seeing the number of participants are 29.
Let me look into, sir.
We'll
Yes, sir.
wait
I
few
will
more.
once again. Yes, sir. We will wait them for two more minutes. I will once again remind everyone in the group so that everyone might be able to join, might be
Yes.
joining us sooner.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Since most of the teachers are in the valuation camps and all,
Oh,
maybe most of them might not have reached home. That's why.
okay. So it is 7:05. Shall we start then?
Yes, sir. We may. Yes, sir. Number is increasing. They will be joining. I have reminded them in the group. You may begin, sir.
Okay, good evening to all participants. First of all, I congratulate you for spending your time and attending such programs, because the future is very competitive, and the expectation from society, from all of us, is going to increase, and it has got a direct repercussion with our societal, economic, and even law and order health. Therefore, what we are doing today, it is very important for our personal and for our professional life. So before I speak about the today's and tomorrow's program, just a brief introduction about myself. That I am Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. I am a product development specialist, and for product development specialist, in the sense, the smallest product I developed is a Titan watch, and the biggest product I developed is a Toyota Innova's roof and floor. In between, I developed about 160 products. I am always into applied research, that is interdisciplinary research, and I came to this only because of my call of my heart. Means I really want to contribute to the educational system. That's the reason I started learning Bloom's taxonomy right from 2004, 2005. And I did a lot of research on this. And now I specialize on three things. One, it is artificial intelligence for pedagogical excellence. This pedagogical excellence is not with it is a blending of artificial intelligence with the various learning theories and frameworks, and what is the situation of our education system today. That is one thing. Second, I am specializing on artificial intelligence for high impact research. I will speak a little about that in the due course. So, that is the second one. Third thing, I specialize in artificial intelligence for the startup requirements. So these are all I am going to speak from my own experience. It means whatever I am going to speak today, or whatever you are going to hear today, you will not find it on internet or anywhere. It is because these are all the things with the experiment, with the research, all developed by myself and by or my team and myself. So therefore, my request is that no, my guarantee is that you are going to gain something from this, from today's and tomorrow's talk. That is my guarantee. Okay. So our subject is OBE, that is outcome-based education and artificial intelligence for our education. So I wanted to tell you that these are all inseparable. Inseparable. So I wanted to start with the OBE, and first I wanted to tell every one of you from my point of view why we require OBE. Is it a fad, or is it something to make some tabulation from OBE? I will come to this teaching as the noble profession, and how we need to handle this. And then from there, I wanted to go for artificial intelligence, how artificial intelligence can be used for, or why should we use artificial intelligence for our teaching profession. And then tomorrow it will spill over, because these are 2 days, and tomorrow I will explain various ways you can use artificial intelligence, that is ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., for very good classroom experience. That is for the teaching learning process. So this is the combination. Before I start, I wanted to take some anticipatory bail. I wanted to tell you that these three things, that is OBE and OBE, artificial intelligence, and this pedagogical excellence, this I take for 3 full days. So whatever I normally speak in 3 full days, here I have to speak in 3 hours. Today, 1.5 hours, that is 7 o'clock to 8:30, and tomorrow 7 o'clock to 8:30. So I am getting 3 hours for speaking about this. So I will do my best to explain the salient or the important features of this, and so that it will be a very good start for you. And during this session, I will give you my telephone number also. Let's go to WhatsApp. So anyone has got any clarification on this, you can always call me. So whenever I can, I will attend. I will return your call, so that that is what we are going to do. So first, let me start with my slide, and I am going to speak first why OBE and why it is so important. And in my opinion, it might be the last chance for our country to become an economic power. So let me open that particular presentation first. Share. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's okay. Visible.
Okay. See, why outcome-based education is shown like a 21st century fox, 20th century fox. It is only because of one reason. Outcome-based education, it might be a last chance for our country to survive as an economic superpower. I will tell you, today is an important day. Our Indian rupee dollar value has fallen down to the least amount in the total history. I will come how it is linked to outcome-based education. Now, see this video. See, now just to see that this is what we are seeing everywhere. We are seeing new gadgets. We are seeing new things. Now this person was showing with proud, with great happiness, that one gadget, that's a trolley at Hyderabad airport. Just to see what is India's contribution in this. What is India's education? What is India's intellectual contribution to this? Just nothing. It is fully Chinese. Now, let us come here. This is a paper. This is a paper cutting. I took a photograph just 2 weeks ago. You are seeing everything. This is iPhone. This is OnePlus. This is MacBook. This is a Sansui, Daikin, LG air conditioner. Here there is Samsung TV. Here there is noise buds. Even though that brand is India but made in China. This is iPad, and this is a higher fridge. And these are all the things. Where is Indian? Where is Indian in this? Now, this is what I took a screenshot of NDTV, and here they are talking about new gadgets. New gadgets are full of foreign. Where is Indian in this? Where is Indian? Now, this is a screenshot I have taken this from Reddit. It is India Tech. It is comparing Apple iOS 17 versus Samsung One UI 6 versus Xiaomi Hyper OS control center. Who did it better? Even India Tech asking about 3 operating system, which is better. At that time, we need to understand here, we have got 2,600 colleges are giving MCA degree. There are more than 2,000 colleges are giving BTech computer science and information technology. Did we develop one operating system? Did we develop one mouse, one keyboard, one laptop? Did we develop anything? No, we have not developed. Why we didn't do? Why we were not able to do? This is the question. And I will come to this. I will come to this one. See, in that particular situation, we can see like that we are not doing anything. At the same time, Tamil Nadu, over 200 engineering colleges fill just 10% of seats. 37 engineering colleges, no admission at all. That means 200 engineering colleges are having 10% seats only filling. What is this season? Now we are coming to a reality. Now we see like this, even though we have got so many educational institutions. IIT Bombay had a BTech degree from 1978. IIT Kanpur had world's best IBM supercomputer from 1965. IIT Delhi got CNC computer aided milling machines right from 1980. But what did we do all these things? We were actually following Lord Macaulay exactly. On Bloom's taxonomy, we always lied there in the remember stage. Even IITs, even top institution, even in our Chandrayaan, what is the contribution of IIT? There is nothing. So why these type of things are happening? This is what we must look from the OBE, outcome-based education. Now look here, this is a Wikipedia page. This is list of inventors. List of inventors. You go to that page, there are more than 1,300 entries, country-wise. Go there and count how many Indians. There are 4 Indians in that, starting from Shushruta. After independence, there is nobody. Why are we not able to invent? You just do one thing. Where you are sitting, make your turn 360 degree. Take one white paper and start writing. What are the items you are seeing? Which is the place of the origination? And then you write. Then you will see that we have not done anything. We are only copying. And even you see that many startup, there are unicorns. Make a list of those startups. How many startups are there actually for Indian situation? There is nothing. Everything is coming copy. Everything is getting copied. Why we fell into this situation? I am going to speak about that. Now, you will see that when you are seeing a ship, you will see on the top side of the ship. This is what we need to understand. When we are saying that like that, this is made in India, this is made in India. We need to understand here what we are seeing on the top is only the assembled part. What is actually in the development of I will tell you in the case of a cell phone. I am a product development specialist. When you are making a cell phone, there are totally more than 6 lakh to 7 lakh decisions you have to make. Means it is something like you are driving and you are entering into a Y junction. You have to take a decision where to go left or where to go right. In sometimes it will be 4 roads or 5 roads. You have to take a decision there. Where to go from there? These type of decisions, technically, engineering wise, we have to take. When we are taking such a decision, we get our skills. In our case, we are not entering into any of this. Therefore, we don't gain any skills from our qualification. It is not related to engineering alone. You take any field. You take cinema. You take television series. You take airport, you take automobile, you take cell phone, you take drama, you take painting, you take cinematography. Anything you take, you see like that, we are not growing. Means we are not becoming some of the best in the world. We are 1/5 of world's population, but we are not reaching 1/5 of Nobel Prize, 1/5 of 1/5 of Olympic medal, 1/5 of Oscar, we are not reaching. What is the reason? That's what I am going to speak here. Now, let us go from here. Let us go from here. Everything can be seen from the Bloom's taxonomy. This is what the This is what the result of a pan-India survey conducted about 3 years ago. You will see like that. So the bottom, it is Bloom's remember, comprehension, apply, analyze, evaluation, create. The 94% of our pan-India, our graduates are in the Bloom's remember level, and they are confused graduates. After studying 4-year course or 3-year course of a degree, they are not even interested in one subject they studied in their total program. They are not passionate about anything. These are the type of people, they go back and fight across India. They are all fighting with their parents. They want to go for higher studies, but they do not know, they do not have any interest in any of the higher studies. Most of them, they want to go to Germany, Australia, New Zealand, America, anywhere they want to go. But why they are going? To study what? They don't know. They want to go because they feel like that they have not achieved anything. Now, second time, 3.7% Bloom's comprehension. This 3.7% of the graduates, they know little bit to speak about what they studied in their own words. I will tell you, the companies like TCS, Cognizant, these type of mass recruiters, they take these students, these graduates, because they can take them and they can train and they can use. This is a condition here. Now let us go. 1.5% of our all India student graduates are in the Bloom's apply level. We need to understand Bloom's taxonomy is not something to set to question paper. Bloom's taxonomy is not something to map about POCO. Bloom's taxonomy is a level of attainment, is a level of achievement. So when a person completes a course, where that person, he or she stands, that is the way we have to look at Bloom's taxonomy. So therefore, we are seeing like that 1.5% of graduates are the practical graduates. They can understand something from here and apply at some other place. Now, let us see what is there in the top. Total HOT, that is higher order thinking. Total higher order thinking. Our graduate population is only 0.8%. At this point, we need to understand anything to be done in the future, it can be done only by the higher order thinking people. Just imagine with the artificial intelligence. Just imagine with the automation. Just imagine with all new technologies coming. These jobs at Bloom's remember and comprehension level are not there. They are all jobs are gone. Now, where are our students, graduates, where are they going to get? If they get an MTech or MA or PhD, they are not going to get any additional job unless they gain the ability and they raise themselves to the higher order thinking. And we need to understand, go to Wikipedia back. There is a page called Gifted People. Gifted people, you know, the girl who can dance without learning dancing, a boy who can who can sing without even learning singing. These are all gifted people. Then Wikipedia says there are 1.5% of people across the world in any demography. They are gifted people. But in our system, we are chasing away gifted people. Even we are not able to retain gifted people. So we need to understand this is what we remain in the Bloom's taxonomy, and any educational system, any educational theory, any famous quotation about education, right from Swami Vivekananda to Plato or Socrates to anyone, you just see, everything can be deduced to one particular thing. Raise students from the bottom of the Bloom's taxonomy to the top of the Bloom's taxonomy. That is what the education is all about. If there are 94% students in your class, they are in the remember. It is the job that we have to push them up. We have to push them up. That is the requirement. That is the need of the education. Therefore, how we can do that? That is what I am going to speak in the first part of this particular talk. So now it is 7:25. My objective is that this first part I should be able to finish by 7:45. So now let us go ahead from here. Now let us see, when we have got such a thing, such a level of students lying in various levels of Bloom's taxonomy, how it is affecting the graduate attributes. We need to understand an important thing. Our purpose of OBE, that is according to William G. Spady. He is the father of outcome-based education. And according to his thing, our main purpose of any graduation is attaining graduate attribute. Attaining graduate attribute is the exit, that is the exit outcome. So we will see here, when this 1.5 to 1.5 and 94% people are in the remembering whether what are all the graduate attributes we are achieving. Let us go to graduate attributes according to UGC. There are 15 graduate attributes, and you will see one by one. You will see like that only 1.5% of our graduates are actually achieving graduate attributes. This is daylight robbery. This is cheating, because parents are sending their children with a purpose that even if he doesn't learn physics, chemistry or something, let him come with the graduate attributes. But that is not happening. That is not happening. That is actually pushing this country to in a way to very bad situation. This, we cannot allow this. It is necessary to change. I am here to speak about that change. Now let us see like this. Now let us see. See, this is an example. I saw it on NDTV. A student in Canada, she is telling that it was my dream to leave India, because what happens? She didn't get anything. Now let us come back to this. An important question. Why, if we are saying like that foreign university syllabus, foreign things are great, then why foreign university syllabus don't produce the same results in India? We are all saying like that. There are many universities here. They claim that we bought the syllabus from so and so foreign university, and why they are not giving the same result. I am going to speak about that one here. Now let us say like that. Everyone knows that in 1956 there was a Bloom's taxonomy by Dr. Benjamin Bloom, and in 2001, 2004, etc., some of the living members of that team, they like Anders van Krathwohl, etc., they modified Bloom's taxonomy. As usual, we are only showing here it in a different way. Yeah, this is what in 1956 Bloom's taxonomy, and this is what in 2001 Bloom's taxonomy. This is the way it is taught here in India, but this is wrong. It is not the way. 2001 Bloom's taxonomy is in a very different way. Means what we are speaking about Bloom's taxonomy is that the knowledge changed to remember, and the synthesis evaluation got changed for create and evaluate and create. Why? What is the reason? I will tell you the reason. It was not changed in this way. This, one of the main criticism about Bloom's taxonomy was that knowledge cannot be put as one, because there are levels of knowledge. Knowledge cannot put it in several verbs in the same way. So therefore, what they did, you please see here. Okay, before we go there, I wanted to tell you that even we have come to a situation that we do not understand what is intelligence. Here in this newspaper, this I showed from Times of India. This is the IT minister. He says like that, quiz. Getting good grade in quiz is knowledge. It is whether The people who are getting praise in quiz, whether they are equipped with the knowledge. Okay, let us see. Now, I will show you here. This is what the modified Bloom's taxonomy and why it is important. For example, this vertical, it is a Bloom's taxonomy. Remember, comprehend, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. And on the horizontal, it is not just knowledge. There are 4 different types of knowledge. You will understand factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, metacognitive knowledge. I will show you a little. What is the factual knowledge? That is knowledge of terminology, knowledge of specific details and elements, knowledge. Now, what is conceptual knowledge? Knowledge of classifications and categories, knowledge of principles and generalization, knowledge of theories, models, and structures. This is what the conceptual knowledge. Then what is procedural knowledge? Knowledge of subject-specific skills and algorithms, knowledge of subject-specific techniques and methods, knowledge of criteria for determining what to use appropriate procedure. This is what procedural. Now it is coming to the most important. It is metacognitive. Strategic knowledge. Knowledge about cognitive tasks, including appropriate contextual and conditional knowledge, self-knowledge. We need to understand that metacognitive, that means we have our knowledge about our knowledge, our thinking about our thinking. These are all metacognitive. Now, with limited time, I want you to see this one because you are all good teachers sitting here. Therefore, remember factual. This is the factual remembering. That is recite or list. You will see, you take the question papers, you will see that most of the people are facing such questions in question paper. That is remember factual. Now remember conceptual, it is recognizing. Remember procedural, recall. Here I wanted to tell you that I hear some people, they say that my son is very intelligent. He can take my phone and he can do these things. I agree in front of them. Okay, your son is intelligent, but I wanted to tell you that what that son is doing is remember procedural. That's all. Remember procedural. It is not intelligence. When somebody is asking something in quiz, what they are doing is remember factual. That's all. It is not knowledge. But at the same time, I wanted to tell you, if that person's son taking Android phone and doing something and then putting that phone back, taking a new iPhone and doing the same thing on that, I would say he is intelligent because he is from apply procedural. Okay, means he has gone into the higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Now I am coming back to this. Remember metacognitive, identify, comprehend factual, summarize, comprehend conceptual, classify, comprehend procedural, demonstrate, comprehend metacognitive, understand. See, earlier we used to say like that. Second layer of Bloom's taxonomy was understand. No, it is not understanding. It is comprehending. Metacognitive is understanding. So that is a very level difference. Similarly, apply factual. It is employ. Apply conceptual. Here's a provide, apply procedural, carry out, apply metacognitive, use is the thing use. Similarly, let us go analyze factual, deconstruct, analyze conceptual, investigate, analyze procedural, discover, analyze metacognitive, separate, evaluate factual, critique, evaluate conceptual, modify, evaluate procedural, judge, evaluate metacognitive, decide, create factual, produce. This is the place. When we are saying like that, India produces so many things. There is no metacognitive, there is no procedural, there is no conceptual. It is only factual. That is the reason even after making 6 models of iPhone here in India, we do not know how to make a new phone. At the same time, we need to understand, take about companies like Acer, Asus, Gigabyte, this thing, Huawei, take OnePlus, Vivo, all this Samsung, all these companies, they were assembling somebody's product. They learned how to assemble. They learned how to design. Then they started their own brand. These type of things are not happening in India, except I will tell you one or two or one thing. There are few islands like this. I will tell you in Tamil Nadu there is a Soho. Then I will tell you Tata Group has done certain in automobiles. At the same time, even Mahindra has done, TVS has done, and Bajaj has done. These are all in the two-wheelers and automobile. But just to take about, you think about Infosys, you think about TCS, think about Cognizant. After 45 years of working in software, they have not developed one software program. No. They have not developed one software language. They have not developed one particular software app. They are all inventions where how to squeeze employees in the name of project management. You got the point. So this is the place where we need to understand this. Create factual is produce. Create conceptual, it is generate. This is the place generative AI. When you are speaking about ChatGPT, when you are speaking about Gemini, when you are speaking about DALL-E, you are coming to this. Generate conceptual. Create conceptual. That's what. Now create procedural. Now that is a design. Create metacognitive. That is what create. When we are speaking about create, means you are creating something metacognitive. That is create. Please understand this is the differentiation. Now let me tell you why I have taken all your time to explain this, because we should know differentiate the knowledge. We should know how to differentiate the knowledge and how to now I am coming to this particular point, how to take students from lower level to the higher level. Okay, before that I will show you in the previous one. How to raise the level of our graduates. The 94% students in the confused graduates and fighting at homes across India is not at all good for India. Therefore, we must raise their level. We must raise level. The only way to raise their level is language for comprehension. That is, mugging up people should understand things. It should be language. It should be language for comprehension, or it is literacy for constructing their knowledge. I will repeat, language for comprehension or literacy for constructing their knowledge. That is what the prime requirement here, from here to here. Now, the second layer is we must have critical and creative thinking. We must have critical and creative thinking. Now the third one is idea exposure and worldview. Unless we have these three, we are not going to go anywhere. We are not going to progress at all. One by one, I will explain to you what is the significance of this. The first thing is the literacy for comprehension, or the language for comprehension, or literacy. We need literacy to construct our own insights. Unless we develop that, we are not going to comprehend things. Now, second thing is, okay, the first thing, go across India. We created a situation that every mother, every father telling their children, don't study language, study only the science. That is what exactly Macaulay wanted. We learned only that some of the only formulae, only derivation, only definition. Then ultimately what happened? We don't have insight. Without insight, what are we going to do with that particular mugged up information? Now I am coming to the second one, critical and creative thinking. Please understand, critical and creative thinking is there in every educational theory here. It is there in NAC. It is there in NIRF. It is there in NEP 2020. But please, you are all faculty members, go around, search all syllabuses in India where it is taught, critical and creative thinking. Nowhere it is taught. It is not in the syllabus of any university. Then where are we going to study that one? Now, let me come to the third one, idea exposure and worldview. See, people say like that, think outside the box, think outside the box. Let me tell you a secret. No one can think outside their brain. You know Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Computers. There he is considered as the most creative CEO the world has ever seen. Now, what is the definition of the most creative person on creativity? Means what is Steve Jobs' definition of creativity? He says creativity is nothing but rearranging what we already know. Rearranging what we already know. That means if we know many things, we have many things to rearrange. That is what the creativity is. If we have to be creative, we should have many dots in our brain. That is coming from extra reading. That is coming from extra watching YouTube or movies. That is coming from meeting people, sharing experiences. That is coming from doing things and making mistakes. These are the places in which we get idea, exposure, and worldview. When these three things are not there in our system, what are we going to do? So this is what I was showing. Language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, idea exposure, and worldview. Now I am showing the photograph of a young man. His name is Lev Vygotsky. You will always see his young photo because he died young. At the age of 38 years, he died, and his learning theories are used across the world. It is called social cognitive constructivism. Social cognitive constructivism. So, in this, what are the things I spoke now? This is his theory. So, here you will see like that, Lev Vygotsky's pedagogical work. Now, let me tell you one thing, very, very important thing. I think I am taking more time because I put a target of 7:45. Now, this is what OBE, the smiling face on the left-hand side, he is Dr. William G. Spady. He is the father of outcome-based education. Now here, you might see something funny here because everywhere our OBE starts from program outcome. But OBE full is starting from exit outcome. If we don't focus on exit outcome, we are going to fall to a non-return situation. Exit outcome means what should be the quality a student should have when he or she crossing the gate of the institution. That is what the exit outcome. So before program outcome, there is exit outcome. When I speak to some people, they say, no, exit outcome not required. It is about placement. It is not about placement. I will show you that. What is exit outcome? If I know that there are many institutions, good teachers are sitting here. I am speaking to you these things because nobody else will speak to you. Therefore, this exit outcome, why it is and why should you focus on that? This is what exit outcome. It should be originated around student placement and advancement. This is what William Spady says first. Exit outcome should be originated around student placement and advancement. That means even program outcome should be based on student placement and advancement. Even course outcome should be based on student placement and advancement. Every other work happening in the educational institution should be focused on student placement and advancement, not on the publication data of faculty members. Not stressing by showing stressing about the research and comparing that with the IIT. It is not. Everywhere the exit outcome should be originated around student placement and advancement. So I am coming back to this. For anywhere, any institution, if something has to improve, these are the three important fundamental attributes. That is language for comprehension, critical and creative thinking, idea exposure, and worldview. If we don't use these three, our no student is going to get graduate attributes at all. So now now I have completed exactly at 7:45. This is what I wanted to stress, that these are the three important things. It is a teacher's ability, institution's ability, or if you have to follow what Confucius said, Vivekananda said, Plato said, Socrates said about education. These are all how to take students from lower level of the Bloom's taxonomy to higher level of Bloom's taxonomy. Each level of Bloom's taxonomy is a level of attainment. So therefore, we must be able to push students from the lower level to the higher level. And that is what the education is all about. And that is what outcome-based education is all about. The outcome-based education is not fabricating data. Outcome-based education is not calculating attainment and fixing there. Outcome-based education is the qualitative improvement. Even Dr. William Spady specifically said, unless we build quality, what calculation are we going to do? Therefore, we need to do this first. So with this, I am going to conclude this first level of my first thing of my program. Now, let me ask you, anyone has got any clarification on this? I will clarify, then I will proceed. Anyone has got any clarification?
Hello, all.
So, madam, if no one has got any clarification, shall I go ahead then? Or
Oh, yes, yes, sir.
or
Yes,
please
sir.
ask anyone.
Hello, dear participants. If you have any doubts or queries to be cleared, you may ask now or during the end of the session.
Okay, fine.
If anyone is unable to unmute their mic or something like that, just put your messages in the chat box. Or else we will move on with the presentations.
Okay. Meanwhile, I would like to get a feedback from the participants whether the approach is okay, or whether am I going too fast, or any improvement idea suggestions. Means okay. Now shall I take the silence as an approval?
So they are typing it in the chat box. People are okay with the same with your session. They are finding it useful. So you may continue, sir.
Okay, right then. Okay, now I will go to the next. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
That is achievement of pedagogical excellence.
Yes, sir, it is visible. It is okay. You may continue.
Means a teacher teaching screen. Means you are seeing a screen of teacher teaching.
Only the video is visible, sir. We couldn't say hear any audio. If you intend so,
Am I audible now?
yes, sir, you are audible. I was speaking about the video. If
Okay,
there
fine.
is any audio
Yeah.
attached to it, your voice is okay, fine, sir. It is
Okay.
audible,
Now
clear.
let me tell all of you one important point. Because when we speak about the points, when we speak about how to achieve OBE, when we speak about how to achieve pedagogical excellence, there is one particular question every teacher will have. Every teacher will think that, okay, there are so much of difficulties. There are so many challenges in the system. And how am I going to do this? How am I going to do? There are people, there is no appreciation. There are people, they stop me from doing this. We need to understand that in each in we need to understand that in each segment, take medical, take engineering, take IAS, take a politician, take everywhere. Everywhere there are people, they are stopping good people from doing good things. But one very important thing for the teachers is that they are doing their work within the four walls of a classroom, and in that classroom they are there is nobody to stop them from doing a very good work. So that is what here we have got a one important program called the one teacher. The one teacher is very important. I will show you this important because now I do not have time. Why this is important, this one teacher? Yes, uh, each one, you in the society, you ask any person who has done well in their life, they all will tell that teacher, this teacher, they will tell a teacher's name. That means everyone, they have got a teacher in their heart. That teacher really helped them. That teacher really was that teacher's class was actually a turning point. Therefore, we always request, become that one teacher. You cannot satisfy everyone, but for them, when you are sitting, when you are teaching in a class, you know that there are shining people here. When you are doing something good, it is going to strike some people heart. And I am going to show you some examples here with some of the world famous people, and they all say like that, there is one teacher in my life, and because of that teacher I became this. So what I was showing all along was that take any big person, take people who are successful in their life. Everyone has got one teacher in their life, one teacher. So everywhere when we do pedagogical excellence, artificial intelligence for pedagogical excellence, we specifically say that they try to become that one teacher in somebody's life, because that particular thing, that type of an impact, no one can do. So this particular section is actually, we are speaking about how each teacher can become that one teacher in somebody's life, to shape somebody's future, to make somebody's life totally fulfillment, and become that one teacher. So when you are becoming that one teacher, when you start demonstrating that pedagogical excellence, now we are speaking about, we have spoken about OBE, why OBE, and how to get that exit outcome, and what are the three important points for getting that exit, achieving that exit outcome. And from there, we are coming here, how to become the one teacher who is ensuring that exit outcome, how to become that one teacher to attain attain the objective of outcome based education. And what do students gain? Now let us see like that, what are the things student will gain? They get intellectual excitement. How to get intellectual excitement? This is a very important thing. When we, with artificial intelligence, when we are able to produce the same type of excitement which is given by Instagram and WhatsApp in the classroom, then through the subject they learn, they are going to get intellectual excitement. See, this is what first thing. Students get intellectual excitement, and through artificial intelligence. That is what I am going to show you tomorrow. With the artificial intelligence, how to achieve this type of intellectual excitement in the classroom. That is a step number one. One can really achieve the pedagogical excellence. Second is empowerment and confidence. See, students experience empowerment and confidence with the application of artificial intelligence in the classroom. Now, the third point is positive learning environment. Fourth, a strong sense of connection. When you are that one teacher there, and you are going to do the first three things, then there is going to be a strong sense of connection. Now let us say the fifth one is motivation and engagement. Six is collaboration and teamwork. Ultimately, what students are going to gain from this is cognitive rigor. What is missing in our society is the rigor. You take any movie, whether it is Malayalam movie, Hindi movie, what we are seeing is idea is copied from somewhere. We do not have. Recently, I watched a movie. Adu Jeevitham. Adu Jeevitham may be that one. It is from one person's experience. That's a rare occasion. But you take the movie like Drishyam, copied from Korean. You take any other thing. Almost everything are copied from somewhere. This is because we are not able to go in the higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy in that particular domain. Take medicine and you compare that with the Bloom's taxonomy. Then we realize that we are not reaching that evaluation creation level. Similarly, that is the reason I first spend 45 minutes to stress what is the need of OBE and how to take students through Bloom's taxonomy. Now we have come to that concept of, and then we came to 3 points which can take students through the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Then who will do that? The one teacher will do that. That one teacher is you. That one teacher who is going to develop intellectual excitement through artificial intelligence, empowerment and confidence through artificial intelligence. Tomorrow I am going to speak all those things. Positive learning environment through artificial intelligence, strong sense of connection through artificial intelligence, motivation and engagement through artificial intelligence, collaboration and teamwork through artificial intelligence, personal growth and self-awareness through artificial intelligence, and inspiration and passion for learning through artificial intelligence. All these things are how we will do through prompt engineering. And this is the artificial intelligence. I am not going to speak about theory. I know that there will be Malayalam teachers sitting here, history teachers sitting here, biology teachers sitting here. Your time has come. Your time has come to use software. Your time has come to use artificial intelligence. I am going to show you those methods for every non-technical staff member sitting here, how to use artificial intelligence like any other computer science person or better than that person. Okay, so now let us go next. We have, I think, 8 to 5. We have got only 25 minutes left for today's session. Yeah. See, those 3 points, what we discussed, how to take students from the lower level of Bloom's taxonomy to higher level of Bloom's taxonomy for the achievement of OBE, and this is with the help of artificial intelligence. So here, let me tell you what are all the 6 important things in this what teachers need to do with the artificial intelligence. First thing is blending subject matter with the pedagogical techniques. We will speak about pedagogical techniques tomorrow and blending subject matter. If you are teaching biology, zoology, computer science, or database management, you must know how to blend that particular domain with the pedagogical techniques. We know that in higher educational institutions, these educational theories are not mandatory for a teacher to get a job, but it is for the teacher's interest. It is for the students' student success. We must learn these things. Second, deploy engaging curricula. Means a curricula, whatever we teach, let it be zoology, let it be geography, it should be engaging. And artificial intelligence can help to make it engaging. Third, use the language of critical and creative thinking. If a teacher coming to the class without interacting or without interacting, speaking only this monologue without asking any questions, then that class is not an engaging classroom. We must use the language of critical and creative thinking. How to do this? Now, fourth one is cultivate a growth mindset. Always a teacher should be positive. Teacher's facial expression should be positive. And how to cultivate a growth mindset? Because children are there for growing. Because they are going to live in the future. So how to cultivate that growth mindset? Fifth one is establishing and communicating the expectation. A teacher who is always telling, this is what my expectation from you, even the backbencher, even the person who is not at all interested in this, always, that is a human psychology. We will try to meet the expectation. Then sixth one, always sharpen your saw. That is actually a sentence borrowed from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. That is the 7th habit is shown as 6th habit here. Always sharpen your saw, because that is what exactly you are doing here. I understood from madam, after coming from your college, you are all sitting here and you are all listening to me. The reason is that you have got that interest to improve yourself, and that is what ultimately we call sharpening the saw. And then this you have seen here, it is something like a gear system of a car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then there is R. If we are not doing any of this, we are putting the car in the reverse gear, and then we are not going to take any progress at all. This is the way we are. This is the way we are doing. Okay. Now I have done with my second part of the program. Now I want to go for the introduction of artificial intelligence today. When I am speaking about generative artificial intelligence, now it is 8 to 12. That means I have got 18 minutes now. So with the madam's permission, if I will try to finish this introductory part within 18 minutes, but suppose it is not possible, I may go ahead with the 5 minutes, because it is my right to use 5 minutes because I started 5 minutes late. So anyone has got any clarification on what we have spoken now? I believe uh, if there are no questions, that shows my communication was not at all good. Nobody could understand anything, or everybody could understand everything. So I assume that the second one is true, and I am going to go ahead with the next session. Is my new screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
That is 100 plus smart ways to use ChatGPT for an exciting classroom.
Yes, sir. Obviously,
Okay.
it's okay.
See, first I wanted to tell you that the Samsung type of people are selling some big screen saying that it is smart class. But I will tell you, smart class is the class where the teacher is smart. Smart class is not the one where we buy something and fix. Smart class is the class where the teacher is smart. And smart teachers and smart classrooms. That is what our prime objective. Smart teachers create smart classroom. So generative AI has been hailed as a game changer for teachers because it offers the opportunity for creating personalized, interactive, and engaging content that can capture students' attention and interest. This module explains over 100 smart methods. Actually, I take 1 day for explaining this. Okay, I take 1 day, but now I am going to do it um, in about 2 hours time. So let me note 2 hours. I think 1.5 hours time. So let me tell you what I am going to speak to you first. See, teacher, in my opinion, is a bad word because it's a wrong word. If I tell you that I will teach you a lesson, it is not a good thing. Actually, the teacher word should be changed. Good teachers are actually learning causers. You cause learning. You are the reason for someone to learn. Therefore, you are learning causes. So when you start acting like you are a learning causer, then there will be a magical difference in the classroom. As Swami Vivekananda said, a lighted lamp only can light another lamp. So here we are going to speak with the help of ChatGPT, how each teacher can be a lighted lamp. So let us start with that. See, all over the world, teachers have been fighting against WhatsApp and Instagram. Now they can have the same excitement with ChatGPT in the classroom. So before entering into generative AI, ChatGPT, let me tell you what is all the hype. This ChatGPT, I am going to speak ChatGPT word instead of generative AI because they are number one and they are giving the better results. And we are going to show examples with ChatGPT. Therefore, I use ChatGPT instead of generative AI. It can automate tasks. It can automate tasks in the sense even it can automatically reply to your WhatsApp message or the Gmail, or it can do many of the automation or many of the mechanical work. It can give us advice. For a person like me, to whom I am going to tell my problems, and from where I am going to get all advices. ChatGPT is in front of me. With all confidence, I can tell all my problems to ChatGPT. Within a second, it is going to give me all solutions totally customized for me. That is the type of the help ChatGPT can get. So third thing is writing and debugging code. Now that, as I was telling you, the time has come for the history teacher, biology teacher, botany teacher, Hindi teacher, Malayalam teacher, English teacher to become software engineers, because there is no need to learn any language. You tell, if you can verbalize, if you can tell ChatGPT, then ChatGPT will write the code for you. You can make your own program. You can make your own website. You can make your own app. That is the type of situation the ChatGPT has given. So therefore, in each of my talk, I specifically tell all those people they were separated from the software because of the technicality of that. Please come back. Please come back. Now become part of this. You can become a software person and you can do wonders in your own field. If you are in Malayalam, use ChatGPT for Malayalam. If you are in Hindi, use it. If you are in biology, you use it. And only thing how to use it, how to use it, I am going to speak to you tomorrow, because this is the thing. Now it is 2020. I am going to give the introduction now. Now fourth one, generate ideas and brainstorming, then creating content, building websites and app, then chat. Okay, exactly, chat GPT chat, analyze data, generate data set, and create a physical object. You know about 3D printing. You can tell ChatGPT, I want a teacup in this way. You explain the shape, you explain the radius, you explain how should be the handle. ChatGPT is going to make a program for that. Put it into 3D printing machine. You will get a teacup and saucer or whatever you want in the exactly in the same way you want. So these are all the things. These are all only the starting. There are many things like data analysis, like sensitivity analysis. There are many things with ChatGPT. If you are patient and if you can learn prompting, even you can write a next Ramayana and Mahabharata. That type of an ability ChatGPT has got. Now let us go next. First, I wanted to tell you that what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a code. Time being, we need only understand this. Artificial intelligence is nothing but it's a program. It will mimic human behavior. It will mimic like a parrot. That's the reason here there is an image of parrot. It mimics. And that much only we need to understand. That is, in a nutshell, artificial intelligence is like a magical parrot that learns to mimic human thinking. And if it is connected to whatever machine or something, it can make that machine function in that way. So technically, artificial intelligence is a computer science discipline that creates systems capable of performing tasks requiring human-like intelligence. So therefore, for all staff members who are non-technical, don't get afraid. Now our time has come. I am BTech mechanical. I am not a computer science person. That is the reason I said our time has come. I am not a coding person, but how to use artificial intelligence. So now let us go to the next one. See, this is a good question. How intelligent is artificial intelligence? I will go to the next one also. You understood these two. First thing was that how intelligent is artificial intelligence. The second, how artificial is artificial intelligence. Combining these two, I will tell you a story. Suppose you know Dr. Devi Shetty is a famous heart surgeon. He decides to build a robot for doing the heart surgery. So if he is using our previous traditional AI methods, then if he is going to program his entire heart surgery technique to a robot, it can be done. But the problem is when robot comes across a situation which is not programmed, the robot will stop. You understood that? Robo will stop. I cannot do because I am not taught this particular thing because it is not there in the program. Now, come to a situation where Dr. Devi Shetty teaching the robo with the help of ChatGPT, with the help of machine learning, with the help of generative AI. If he is doing that, it will observe some 300 operation, it will learn. Then it will continue to operate even if it faces a situation that it has not seen with the Dr. Devi Shetty. Do you know why? Because infinite number of trained data by this ChatGPT type of large language model is actually at its command. If that information is not here, it will get it from some other place. It can take it and it can continue to do the surgery. From this, you can understand how artificial is artificial intelligence or how intelligent is artificial intelligence. Okay, more to come. So before going further, I am going to speak in very very informal way. And I request whoever wants to ask a question, because I am intentionally not using technical words because I know many of the faculty members sitting here are not technical. I will tell you certain examples. See, what this ChatGPT as a company, what did they do? What they did is that they created a large language model. What is the large language model? From 2014 or 15, they took some 6 to 7 years to gather all the available information from public data, and they put it in trained data. In the sense, I will tell that they removed that all connections and put it loose. If I am telling another example, because I am a mechanical engineer, suppose a person who purchased a bike and he removed all parts and kept it loose. Okay. So there are so many screws, springs, parts, everything is lying there. So I am telling that person, you make a scooter for me. That person takes all these relevant things and he is making a scooter for me. Then I am telling somebody, okay, now you make a single wheel thing for me. That person takes some of the things and put it. Now you understood that. that all the removed, all the loosened bike was lying there. And when I gave him one idea, he took so many things from that and he created one thing for me. Similarly, now if you understood this particular example, just imagine all the stories in the world, all the news articles in the world, all the pictures in the world, all the poems in the world, all the computer programs in the world, all these things they collected and they made it loose. They made it loose like like they dismantled that motorcycle. They kept loose. Then with a prompt, with a requirement, we can collect what are the things required and put it in a meaningful way. That is what exactly generative AI is doing. Or this much understanding is enough to go further. I hope I hope it is understandable. And I am sure that most of you would have used ChatGPT. You know that it is getting generated in front of you. How it is getting generated? Only with one principle. ChatGPT receives a prompt, or it's a message, or it's a question, or it's an instruction. It is getting it on that particular text box. It is called prompt. Based on that prompt, it is going to make what is the most probable next. Always it is creating something with this thinking, what is the most probable next. So it is getting generated in front of you like a spring. It is always thinking what is the most probable next. So with this one, so with this I will conclude because it is 8:30. Now, if anyone has got any doubt, clarification, they can ask, or I will tell you my phone number. You can call me. It is 967 367 0033.
Hello, dear participants. If you have any doubts or queries to be asked to sir, you are open. The panel is open for a discussion. If anyone has, I hope your audio and video are enabled now. If you have any doubts or any clarifications to be made, please do feel free to ask, sir.
Good evening, sir. The class was
Good
great. Even if you prolong, we are happy to listen to you and wait.
Oh, thank you.
Or we will meet tomorrow. Even if
Yes.
you are explaining more, we are ready to wait.
Okay,
It was
sir.
great.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Let us continue tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
And tomorrow I am going to speak about pedagogical excellence, how to use artificial intelligence for various classroom activities.
Okay, sir. We also feel that the time was insufficient, but still we will make some more sessions later on.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, so I feel like there are no such queries coming in. Anyway, sir, it was really a fruitful session for all the participants. We are indeed happy that we have got you here. so that we could once again rewind what all things that we had been as part of our beard and all what all theories we were actually mugging up then, and how it is high time. You have reminded us how it is high time so that we put all those theories into practical in the classrooms, which is going to be useful for the students. Thank you once again, sir, for reminding us and inspiring us with all those great personalities who have spoken about their great teachers who have inspired them in order to achieve great heights in their lives. It is truly an inspiration for all of us, all the teachers who have gathered here on this online platform. That we are once again going to rejuvenate ourselves and make the classrooms better environment for each and every student who are sitting in front of us. We are so glad that we have one more session with you tomorrow. We are looking forward to tomorrow's session. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us and once again bringing up that inspiration in us in order to be that one teacher that you were speaking about. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you all the participants for joining us. As we had some technical issues in the beginning, it was just because of that, sir. So many were late to join. It was merely a technical issue which was sorted after later. And tomorrow we will check into everything is okay and fine with the technical team. Sorry for any inconvenience caused to all the participants and especially our resource person. Thank you so for being with us, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining
Okay,
us.
thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, sir. I request all the participants to mark your attendance before leaving. The attendance form is in the chat box. Please do make sure that you mark your attendance. Thank you and good night, everyone.